On today's Bismarck Bucks Coaches Show, the Bucks return home for the first time in nearly a month for a battle with the Frisco Fighters. We've got the highlights, plus a look at scores from around the IFL as the playoff picture begins to take shape in the last quarter of the season. Plus, Bismarck prepares for their second matchup of the year against the Sioux Falls Storm. It's all coming up on this week's Bismarck Bucks Coaches Show, which starts right now. Hello everyone, welcome inside our Beck Studios. I'm your host David Sugarman, and this is the Bismarck Bucks Coaches Show. The bad news is that coming into this week's matchup against the Frisco Fighters, the Bucks had lost 6 straight games. However, on the flip side of that, the Bucks have routinely been right there late in these games, 1 or 2 plays away from a different result. In fact, the last 3 games all decided by 5 points or less. The Bucks were hoping that their first home game in nearly a month would give them the boost that they needed to snap this streak. Let's head to the event center. Tag's birthday invited all of his Bismarck mascot friends to come and celebrate, hopefully with a victory. First drive for the Bucks, set up for a field goal, kicker chase all ball. Has it blocked. Lineman Zakoven Henderson gets his hands on it, the chase down in the end zone. Edgar Allan Poe has it, fumbles it. New Bucks lineman Donnell Pastor eventually falls on it in the end zone. Frisco with the early safety, 2-0. Fighters get the ball now. Their very first play from scrimmage, trouble with the snap, equally as disastrous. Originally, QB TJ Edwards was able to get rid of this, however, flagged for intentional grounding, and we have back-to-back safeties in the first 3-4 minutes of the ball game. Next Bucks drive, set up for another field goal, blocked once again. Henderson got his paws in there for the second time already. This time recovered by the Fighters. Santos Ramirez brings it back to the 2. Couple plays later, Edwards with the play fake runs it in unbothered for the 2-yard touchdown. Fighters go ahead 9-2. Later in the first, after a couple penalties set Frisco back, Edwards fires, and receiver Sheldon Augustine somehow holds on, got his bell rung by defensive back Gerard Holloman. 18-yard touchdown, however, 16-2, Frisco on top. Final play of the first quarter, Bucks trying to get the offense going. Quarterback J-Rue Campbell right into the breadbasket of wideout Tyler Bird, 16-9 going into the second, and life for Bismarck. Second quarter, the return of former Buck running back Justin Rankin reintroduces himself by bouncing off a couple of would-be tacklers en route to a 10-yard touchdown to put Frisco back ahead by 2 scores, 23-9. Headed into the locker room, Bismarck was down 27-12. We picked things up in the third quarter. Opening drive of the half, Edwards, plenty of time, ends up tucking, making a run for it, 14 yards, takes the hit at the goal line, gets into the end zone, 34-12. Now we all know the Bucks just wouldn't go down that easy. 3rd and goal from the 5, Campbell holds on just a hair long enough for Edward Vander to get open. The running back catches the 5-yard score, 34-18. We go to the 4th. Bucks still fighting. Bismarck with 4th and goal at the 2. Campbell for a wide open Poe for the touchdown, his 11th of the year. However, the Bucks had the 2-point conversion intercepted, 34-24 Fighters. Next Frisco drive, Edwards in the pocket. Time, protection, gets free again, 17-yard touchdown. Fighters put this one away, 41-24 at this point, 55-24 your final. Bucks drop their 7 straight to go to 3-9. With a couple new linemen being broken in, including Donnell Pastor, the Bucks are working on building new chemistry while still trying to break out of their current slump.
It was different, it was a new arena, new turf, different team, but once I got past the first game, the first play jitters, it was almost like, getting back into the game, getting back in the groove of things.
In my opinion, I think we, once we crawled back into the game, we kind of got comfortable. I mean, obviously we started to believe that we had a chance to win, but we started to get comfortable. we started to play lazy again like we did initially, and that's kind of where it fell.
Man, we're a good football team. Just at times I think that offense is up and defense is down, defense is up, offense is down, instead of just being that one whole collective group where everybody's firing. It's 3 phases to the game. It's special teams, it's offense, and it's defense. So you need all those components in order to get a team win, in order to create, good team chemistry between everyone.
Some other scores from around the IFL this week. The Green Bay Blizzard take care of business at home against the Quad City Steamwheelers, 31-13. The Sioux Falls Storm on top of the Iowa Barnstormers, 42-34. Elsewhere, Massachusetts loses to Duke City, 51-43. Tell you what, this Arizona team puts up points. They drop 83 on the Bay Area Panthers, even against the struggling defense. 83 points for the Rattlers in a easy blowout win over Bay Area. A couple more scores for you. Northern Arizona over San Diego, 35-17. They're keeping pace with Frisco, trying to get that best record in the IFL. And of course, like we mentioned, Frisco takes down Bismarck at 55-24. Those are your scores from around the IFL. Time for us to step away for our first break. When we come back, we'll sit down with Bucks head coach Rod Miller. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Bismarck Bucks Coaches Show.
Bucks Fan Finder Ticket Giveaway. The Bucks are on the hunt, and they have their sights set on you. Before each Bucks home game, the Bucks Fan Finder will be scouting for Bucks fans with a Bucks window sticker. If your Bucks window sticker is spotted, you'll receive 2 tickets to a Bucks home game, plus be entered into the grand prize drawing for a trip for 2 to Las Vegas. So swing by one of these participating sponsors: Advantage Appliance, Simonson Station Stores, North Bismarck, Swing Away Indoor Batting Cages, Mandan, Action Motorsports, Fried Bread Mamas in Gateway Mall, Dakota Nuts and Candy, Bisman Local Food Market, Abra Auto Body, Bismarck, Mandan. Grab a Bucks window sticker and place it in your rear window. For more info and contest rules, visit BismarckBucks.com. Go Bucks! Free tickets to a Bismarck Bucks indoor football game? How? Go to your app store, type weather on Beck News app, hit search, install the app to your Android or Apple device to get personalized forecasts, weather alerts, road conditions, Beck Weather Insight exclusively for you. Then click the Bismarck Bucks free tickets banner anywhere in the app, fill out the information, and submit. You get free reserved seating tickets to a Bismarck Bucks football game from Beck Weather.
Welcome back inside the Bismarck Bucks Coaches Show, as we are every week. Delighted to be joined by head coach Rod Miller. Coach, before we dive into the X's and O's, a couple guys out in the links this week. The annual Bismarck Bucks golf outing. I know Edgar Allan Poe was out there. What was the consensus of how the guys did this week?
Well, my understanding is that they did pretty good. I didn't get an exact account of how well they did. But I'm sure, in your golf is a competition, so nobody's going to hype up the competition. But I understand it was a good event and great time, and the guys did well, and people had a good time.
Oh, we love to see that. Let's dive into this week. A little bit of trouble on the special teams front. Couple of blocked field goals with Rouge. What did you see when you look back at the tape that you'll try and correct?
We see some things, some placement there. We had a couple weak spots there that we corrected later in the game. But, there was one of those things, we had done pretty good in the last couple weeks for our protection. And then this week, we had a letdown. They must found something that they could expose. And so we had to fix that. And, we worked on that during the game and changed it later in the game. We're also going to work on that this week as well to get rid of those weak spots.
Frisco has an excellent defensive line. However, also you were breaking in a couple new offensive linemen, Torian Roundtree and Donnell Pastor. How do you try and get those guys acclimated as quickly as possible this late in the year?
you know, you just have to go in and do the best you can because, you know, you really don't have a choice. So you got to get in and get guys going. Had some injuries. Like I said, we've had injuries most of the season, so we're used to dealing with those. But, you know, because of injuries, those guys came in and they stepped in and did what they could do. And like I said, we just keep practicing and getting better.
Another one of the newer guys, Tyler Bird, played in his first home game this past week, caught a 36-yard touchdown. What's he bring to the offense?
You know, he's an energetic guy. You know, he's great speed and runs good routes. You know, the same thing, just getting adjusted and learning the offensive play system. He's been doing well and getting adjusted. So, you know, we expect him, you know, this last quarter of the season to do some big things for us.
We've talked a lot about some of these newer additions over the last couple of weeks as you guys try and continue to make some changes. Who are some names that fans should keep an eye out on that maybe they didn't see the first part of the year?
You know, as you know, Mr. Holloran's been doing well since he's come in and got a couple interceptions and doing well for us defensively. Ronald Tyler's a new DB that we just got in as well, has some experience playing in the CFL. He's a guy that we're counting on to do some things for us. And on that aspect of it, Gio Sanders is another quarterback that we brought in that is actually getting acclimated, and we'll get some playing time this week. So, you know, we're very excited about the direction, you know, that we're going. We just got to stay strong and finish strong. What's
the key to building chemistry again with these guys?
You know, just coming in, practicing, just developing, getting reps, and just realizing and having a mind state that, you know, we're not done yet, we're not finished, and we're going to keep working.
Looking ahead, next up is the Sioux Falls Storm, 6-5. Lost to them early in the season, 38-36. However, that was all the way back in week 2, and as we just touched on, there's a ton of roster turnover around the league. With that in mind, how much can you still look back from a game from that long ago and take a lot from?
You know, we'll look back and see, you know, what they did against us that worked for them and did not work, and we'll do the same as well. You know, you're always going to look back and watch your previous game, even was, you know, before earlier in the season, just to see some of the things that happened in that tendency. But like you said, it was a long time ago, so we're just focusing on the most recent games and things that they're doing, because like I said, they've had roster changes just like we have as well. So that's what you look at and just try to focus and get a game plan together.
One guy that has been there the whole way is running back Nate Chavius, who's putting together another fabulous year. 3rd in the IFL in rushing yards, 5th in rushing touchdowns. What specific challenges does he represent to a defense?
You know, he's a good ball player. He's a very shifty runner. He's a powerful runner as well. You know, he's a veteran guy, so he understands and, you know, he hits the holes and knows when those cutbacks come available when they're there, because you can't force those come naturally. But when you get a guy like that, you just have to play sound defense, get in your gaps, and make sure you tackle.
They have a couple good defensive stoppers as well. Marquise Hendrick is 8th in the league in tackles. Andreas Lilly leads the league with 8.5 sacks. How do you game plan for those guys specifically?
You know, we just try to make sure we've got our blocks in place to pick up, you know, those guys as well up front and in the linebacker position, you know, so we got to make sure we're, you know, sending receivers to block in when we do run plays, and just got to make sure we execute it and guys are doing their 1/8.
As good as those guys have been, Sioux Falls does have some chinks in the armor defensively. They give up the 2nd most rushing yards in the league. Where do you see some weaknesses on film that you hope to take advantage of?
You know, hopefully, like I said, we can get out and we worked on a good, hopefully, game plan to run the ball against them this weekend. Like I said, they do have some holes in that area, so we just try to go out and see what we can do to, you know, expose those areas. But like I said, everybody's going to game plan, you know, for each other this week, so I'm sure they're going to have a couple little changes, try to work on, just like we are. But no, we're going to come out and try to do what we can do.
With all that in mind, as you try and get back on the winning track, what's the code word for this week?
Code word is determination. You know, we're still determined to do the things. Our guys have not lost faith in what they're doing. You know, you go through some adversities, but we're still determined to finish, you know, the 4th quarter of the season and a good stance here, and we can still finish. Oddly as it is, we can still finish this semester, this quarter with the same record that we had last year in terms of wins. So we're determined to try to do that.
Determination is the code word for the week. Only one home game left, so make sure that you're paying attention each week for your chance to win a VIP turf table or some cool prizes for that last home game of the season coming up in a few weeks. So take determination to Bismarck Bucks Football on Facebook, at Bismarck Bucks on Twitter, or at Bismarck_Bucks on Instagram for your chance to win something for the final Bucks home game of the regular season coming up in just a few weeks. Coach, thanks so much. Safe travels and best of luck this week.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Bucks head coach Rod Miller. We'll take a short break, come back and dive a little bit deeper into this week's matchup against the Sioux Falls Storm. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Bismarck Bucks Coaches Show.
Beck News is your leader in local. Beck specials and live information for you. Original programming. Exclusive local sports. Beck is local for you. Uncensored topics and uncensored opinions. Unapologetic politics, where all sides are represented. Full episodes online anytime at beck.news. All in one network. Your leader in local, Beck News. Introducing the Bucks Fan Finder Ticket Giveaway. The Bucks are on the hunt and they have their sights set on you. Before each Bucks home game, the Bucks Fan Finder will be scouting for Bucks fans with a Bucks window sticker. If your Bucks window sticker is spotted, you'll receive 2 tickets to a Bucks home game, plus be entered into the grand prize drawing for a trip for 2 to Las Vegas. So swing by one of these participating sponsors. Northwest Tire of Bismarck Mandan, Capitol Heights Auto Clinic, 12 Stones Coffee, Papa Murphy's on Mapleton Avenue, Kroll's in Mandan, Dickey's Barbecue Pit, Pizza Ranch. Grab a Bucks window sticker and place it in your rear window. For more info and contest rules, visit BismarckBucks.com. Go Bucks!
Welcome back inside the Bismarck Bucks Coaches Show. This week we're joined by Bucks insider Noah Reed. Noah, let's call it like it is. The Bucks are struggling right now, 7 straight losses, and specifically the last 2 weeks, a big issue has been the offense or lack thereof. 25 points 2 weeks ago against Massachusetts, 24 this week. Where are the biggest areas that's causing the offensive struggles?
Well, I just think it's consistency right now because we've seen this team against Bay Area score 76 points in a game, and we've seen this team, like you said, 25 and 24 the last couple of weeks, a couple games where they didn't even eclipse 20 either. So it's just been a struggle to find some consistency, and then I think also the run game. It just hasn't been established much this season, and a lot of that has to do with when you're down in games, you don't have the opportunity to run the football because you're trying to play from behind, which is what the Bucks have done a lot of recently. So they're trying to do a lot more through the air than they are on the ground. And so they haven't been able to establish that run. They're not running as much as they'd like to. And Rod Miller will even tell you that much. He's said that much over the course of the last few weeks as we want to establish the run a little bit more. Well, they fall behind by 14 points or so in the first quarter, and that's tough to dig out of, and they start to pass a little bit more. So I think the run game, if you can establish a little bit more of a run game, you might see that point number increase because then it opens up for the pass as well.
Propelling from that as they try and get a little bit better this week, they're taking on a Sioux Falls defense that is 10th in the league. They give up almost 41 points per game. Where are the weaknesses specifically that you see in Sioux Falls that the Bucks can try and expose?
Well, it's also the run defense. And so it's one of those things that if you're trying to get the run game going, this is probably the perfect opponent to try to do that against because Sioux Falls is the second worst run defense in the entire league. And so, and teams have shown that they're capable of scoring on them this year, allowing about 41 points a game. So when your offense is struggling, when you're trying to get out of a slump offensively, Sioux Falls might be the defense you want to play. Now, I think Sioux Falls is tough, and they've got a really good offense, so it doesn't make it an easy game by any stretch. But if you can get that run game going, I know we just talked about that 30 seconds ago, but for me, the run game has to be established early in this one. And even if you fall behind early in this one, 7-0, 10-0, something like that, you can't abandon the run because more than anything, not only does that allow you to run the football, but again, Bismarck's at their best when they're throwing the football, and it allows you to open up the pass game even more.
Yeah, you touched on the success of the Sioux Falls offense. Back-to-back wins, a lot of that has to do with the quarterback play of Dalton Snead. He struggled against Massachusetts 3 weeks ago, 2 for 8 for 33 yards and a 1-point loss. Since then, 7 touchdowns, 1 interception. What's he do well that the Bucks need to watch out for?
He's such a dual threat, and that's something that he's the third quarterback that they've started this year. Daniel Smith and Taz Wilson were the first 2 guys, and they could run it, but they didn't really want to if they didn't have to. And so they weren't as big run threats, and whereas Snead is a little bit, but he can also pass it. He's only played in 5 games this year, but he has 14 passing touchdowns, and he's got more passing yards than either of those 2 quarterbacks had when they were starters. And if you want to take it even a step step further. Lorenzo Brown has been the starting quarterback there for the last 4 or 5 years, and a great quarterback. He's won United Bowl championships there. He's won United Bowl MVPs there. Great quarterback, but didn't really like to run the football that much. And so he also wasn't that much of a dual threat. Doesn't mean he wasn't a great quarterback, because he was, but that's just something defenses haven't had to play against when they come to against Sioux Falls, is the dual threat that Snead has. He's shown that ability to pass. He's shown that ability to run. It's tough to defend that.
Bucks have lost 7 straight games. Let's try and go optimism. Glass half full. Head coach Rod Miller just told us, hey, we still do have a chance to match our win total from last year. What are some reasons that the Bucks can break this streak and try and finish strong here the last 4 games?
You know, it's got to be annoying and frustrating to hear this as fans or even players and coaches, but they're right there. You know, I mean, yes, if you look at just last week's box score, you're going to see a 30-point loss to Frisco. I get that. But 3 straight weeks before that, losses by 5 points or less. Half of their games this season have been decided by a possession or less, 7 points or less in 6 of the 12 games this season for Bismarck. So you look at that win-loss record, and it's obviously not great, but I think they're right there on the cusp, and it just maybe it's a run game a little bit better, or maybe it's a stop on defense here or there. Maybe it's you know, last week especially, maybe it's playing better on special teams. It's one small thing week in and week out. When you're losing in indoor football, where it's common for games to be in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and you're losing by 1 possession, that just goes to show that you're right there, you're right on the cusp. And I think if you're a fan looking for that glass half full picture, it has to be how close so many of these games have been this year for the Bucks, that all it's going to take is 1, and who knows, maybe 1 could mean 4 straight to end the season.
Noah, appreciate the insight. We're hoping that you're right, and this is the week the Bucks get off the schneid.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me this week.
Bucks insider Noah Reed. We're going to take a short break, come back, and put a bow on things here on the Bismarck Bucks Coaches Show.
Introducing the Bucks Fan Finder Ticket Giveaway. The Bucks are on the hunt, and they have their sights set on you. Before each Bucks home game, the Bucks Fan Finder will be scouting for Bucks fans with a Bucks window sticker. If your Bucks window sticker is spotted, you'll receive 2 tickets to a Bucks home game, plus be entered into the grand prize drawing for a trip for 2 to Las Vegas. So swing by one of these participating sponsors: Advantage Appliance, Simonson Station Stores, North Bismarck, Swing Away Indoor Batting Cages, Mandan, Action Motorsports, Fried Bread Mamas in Gateway Mall, Dakota Nuts and Candy, Bisman Local Food Market, Abra Auto Body, Bismarck, Mandan. Grab a Bucks window sticker and place it in your rear window. For more info and contest rules, visit BismarckBucks.com. Go Bucks! Free tickets to a Bismarck Bucks indoor football game? How? Go to your app store, type weather on Beck News app, hit search, install the app to your Android or Apple device to get personalized forecasts, weather alerts, road conditions, Beck Weather Insight exclusively for you. Then click the Bismarck Bucks free tickets banner anywhere in the app, fill out the information, and submit. You get free reserved seating tickets to a Bismarck Bucks football game from Beck Weather.
Welcome back, everybody. Another week brought another chance for a hit of the game, and of course, the Bucks did not disappoint. And this week's hit of the game brought to you by Abra. TJ Edwards dropped back, able to complete the pass for Jordan Jolly, but he pays the price. Got a licking into the wall from DB Jamal Hicks. One more look. That's this week's hit of the game brought to you by Abra. Now, before we go, time to reveal our code word winner of the week, and it is one Jeff Frank. Jeff, congratulations. There's only one home game left, so opportunities are running out to see the Bismarck Bucks, and you're getting a VIP turf table at an upcoming Bucks home game. Congratulations, Jeff. We'll be getting in touch with you very soon. You want to be like Jeff? You want to win something cool for the Bucks' last home game in a few weeks? Listen up right now. The code word for this week is determination. Determination is the code word for the week. So take that to Bismarck Bucks Football on Facebook, at Bismarck Bucks on Twitter, and at Bismarck_Bucks on Instagram. Again, Bismarck Bucks Football on Facebook, at Bismarck Bucks Twitter, at Bismarck_Bucks Instagram. Submit your answer via social media. Limit just one entry per person for your chance to win something great for the Bucks regular season home finale. Before we go, let's take a quick look at the Bucks' upcoming schedule. There's not a whole lot left here in the regular season. Bucks trying to snap that 7-game losing streak. It starts this Saturday with a game against the Sioux Falls Storm at Sioux Falls. That's a 7:05 p.m. kickoff. We'll have that streaming here for you right here on Beck Sports. Following that, it'll be Quad City, I should say, on the road. Then the Bucks home finale, June 25th. They'll host the Iowa Barnstormers, and then a bye before the regular season finale at the Northern Arizona Wranglers. So just 4 regular season games to go. Hard to believe we're already 3/4 of the way through the IFL season, and the Bucks try and snap this 7-game losing slide this Saturday against the Sioux Falls Storm, 7:05 kickoff. That'll do it for this week's show. For our entire crew, I'm David Sugarman. Have a safe week, everybody, and make sure to tune in for the Bucks and the Storm this Saturday here on Beck Sports.
Tickets to a Bismarck Bucks indoor football game? How? Go to your app store, type weather on Beck News app. Hit search. Install the app to your Android or Apple device to get personalized forecasts, weather alerts, road conditions, Beck Weather Insight exclusively for you. Then click the Bismarck Bucks free tickets banner anywhere in the app, fill out the information, and submit. You get free reserved seating tickets to a Bismarck Bucks football game from Beck Weather. Introducing the Bucks Fan Finder Ticket Giveaway. The Bucks are on the hunt, and they have their sights set on you. Before each Bucks home game, the Bucks Fan Finder will be scouting for Bucks fans with a Bucks window sticker. If your Bucks window sticker is spotted, you'll receive 2 tickets to a Bucks home game, plus be entered into the grand prize drawing for a trip for 2 to Las Vegas. So swing by one of these participating sponsors. Northwest Tire of Bismarck Mandan, Capitol Heights Auto Clinic, 12 Stones Coffee, Papa Murphy's on Mapleton Avenue, Kroll's in Mandan, Dickey's Barbecue Pit, Pizza Ranch. Grab a Bucks window sticker and place it in your rear window. For more info and contest rules, visit BismarckBucks.com. Go Bucks!
Lori Hins here with No Apologies on Beck.
So in this situation, Russia wouldn't have done what they did if China didn't basically say, we've got your back.
Where we bring you your after-hours oasis of sanity.
Choices about their gender. Hello, that for me as a Republican, as a conservative, and as a Christian, that's really troubling to me.
Each Wednesday and Sunday at 8 p.m. Central.
You got the nickname, the Smooth Voice Lady.
On Beck and Beck.News.
Now you can have the personalized forecast at your fingertips when you need it. Beck's exclusive Weather Insight is information tailored to you. Radar, weather alerts, forecasts, and videos. Download the free Weather on Beck News app. Search your app store now.